By the final week of August 2021, Gabby Petito had completely vanished from public view after the disturbing domestic incident in Moab, Utah. On August 12th, Gabby and Brian Laundrie continued their journey north, eventually making their way into Wyoming. According to Gabby's last known Instagram post, dated August 25th, she was near Grand Teton National Park. In the photo, she's smiling in front of Butterfly Mural in Ogden, Utah, a vibrant, colorful image that gave no hint of the tension lurking behind the lens. It would be her final Instagram post. On August 24th, Gabby FaceTimed with her mother, Nicole Schmidt, while staying at a hotel in Salt Lake City. Everything seemed fine. Gabby mentioned that they were leaving for the Tetons next. Her mother didn't detect anything alarming, but that would be the last video call they ever shared. Over the next few days, communication between Gabby and her family grew sporadic, strange, and ultimately silent. Gabby's mother received a text message from her daughter's phone on August 27th. It read, "Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls." The message struck her like a gut punch. Stan was Gabby's grandfather, but Gabby never referred to him by his first name. Nicole immediately suspected that someone else had written the message, possibly Brian. That same day, something happened at the Mary Piglet's Tex-Mex restaurant in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. According to witnesses later interviewed, Gabby and Brian were seen at the restaurant arguing loudly. Gabby was crying and apologizing, while Brian appeared visibly angry, storming in and out of the building, confronting the staff. The scene was unsettling. One witness said it looked like Gabby was trying to keep the peace while Brian grew increasingly agitated. That public confrontation was one of the last known sightings of Gabby alive. 2 days later, on August 29th, a couple named Miranda Baker and her boyfriend picked up a hitchhiker outside Grand Teton National Park. The man introduced himself as Brian. He told them he had been camping by himself while his fiancée stayed in the van working on social media content. According to Miranda, Brian seemed nervous, offered them $200 for a ride, and asked to be dropped off before reaching his intended destination. His behavior didn't make sense. Why was he alone? Where was Gabby? Unbeknownst to anyone, by that point Gabby Petito was likely already dead. The real shock came on September 1st, 2021, when Brian Laundrie returned to his parent home in Northport, Florida, driving the white Ford Transit van. He was alone. He didn't call the Petito family. He didn't explain where Gabby was. He didn't tell law enforcement anything. Instead, he and his parents, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie, immediately hired a lawyer. For 10 full days, while Gabby's family desperately tried to reach Brian and get answers, the Laundries said nothing. Every text, every phone call, every plea went ignored. Gabby's parents were frantic. Nicole knew her daughter wouldn't have willingly gone days without contact. She pushed through the rising panic and filed a missing person report on September 11th with Suffolk County Police in New York. That same day, she contacted the Northport Police Department in Florida, where Brian had returned. Officers arrived at the Laundrie house to speak with Brian. His parents refused to allow it. Their lawyer advised Brian to remain silent and not cooperate. In a statement issued through their attorney, the Laundrie family said they hope Gabby is located and that she is reunited with her family, but they declined to answer any specific questions. This response was met with widespread public outrage. To Gabby's family, and to millions watching online, it appeared cold, calculated, and deeply suspicious. Brian had returned home in Gabby's van. Gabby was missing, and no one from his side would explain what happened. As news of her disappearance spread, Gabby's story exploded on social media. Instagram sleuths, YouTubers, and TikTok creators started sharing timelines, clues, and theories. Her case was being followed by millions, with hashtags like #FindGabby and #JusticeForGabby trending globally. The social media interest proved crucial. One of the most significant leads came from a couple named Jen and Kyle Bethune, who had been traveling through Grand Teton in their own van. On September 19th, they reviewed dashcam footage from August 27th and discovered that they had accidentally recorded Gabby's van parked along a remote road in the Spread Creek dispersed camping area. The video was chilling. The van was parked awkwardly, off to the side, with its back doors partially open. There were no signs of life. The footage was shared with the FBI immediately. Using that information, search teams narrowed their focus to that part of Bridger Teton National Forest. Back in Florida, things were getting even stranger. On September 13th, Brian Laundrie left his family home, allegedly telling his parents he was going for a hike in the Carlton Reserve, a massive swampland area near Northport. When he didn't return that night, his parents claimed they were concerned, but they waited for more days before reporting him missing. By September 17th, the Northport police publicly declared Brian a person of interest in Gabby's disappearance. That same day, the Laundries finally told authorities their son had vanished. By then, the public and Gabby's family were convinced that Brian knew what happened. His silence, his escape, and his parents' behavior all seemed to point toward guilt. On September 19, 2021, search teams in Wyoming located human remains in the Spread Creek area, less than 1,000 feet from where Bethunes had recorded the van. The body was partially buried and appeared to match Gabby's description. 2 days later, the FBI confirmed what everyone feared. The remains were those of Gabby Petito. The Teton County coroner ruled her death a homicide by manual strangulation and blunt force trauma to the head. The autopsy estimated she had been dead for 3 to 4 weeks before being found. Gabby had died alone in the wilderness, likely just days after her final messages. Her family was devastated, but the world had already decided. They wanted justice, not just for Gabby, but for every woman who had ever gone missing, every victim of a toxic relationship that friends and family never saw coming. And now the only person who knew the full truth had disappeared into Florida's most unforgiving swampland.